This is Mrs. Politsky, and I have notes for Econ Chapter 2, Section 3, American Free Enterprise. So, free enterprise, this is the capitalistic economy in which competition is allowed to flourish with minimum of government interferences. And there are basically five characteristics of capitalism. You got private enterprise, competition, private property, profit motive, and consumer sovereignty. So let's get into talking about these. Economic freedom, this basically means that you have the freedom to choose your occupation, your employer, your job, your location, your mobility. Businesses are free to hire the best workers and to produce the products that they feel would be the most profitable. Businesses are also free to risk success or failure in the choices that they make. Voluntary exchange. This is the act of the buyer and the seller freely and willingly engaging in market transactions. These benefit the buyer and the seller. Buyers will buy a product. They believe that the item that they purchase is of a greater value than the money that they have to give up. The seller, they exchange their product for money, and the money that is received is more valuable than the product that they sell. Private property rights. Private property rights, this is the fundamental feature of capitalism. It allows individuals to own and control their possessions as they wish. Private property also gives people the incentive to work, to save, and to invest because they're free to do as they wish with their property. A profit motive. People are free to risk any part of their wealth in a business venture. There are some pros and cons to this. The pro would be that you can earn a reward for your effort, meaning that you might gain some finances as a result of this. The con is that you can lose those investments if you make some poor decisions here. A profit. Profit is the extent of which to which persons or organizations are better off financially at the end of a period of time than they were at the beginning. A profit motive, this is the incentive that encourages people and organizations to improve their financial and material well-being. Competition in capitalism, it thrives on competition. Competition is the struggle among sellers to attract customers. It's possible because individual entrepreneurs have the freedom to produce the products that they think will be the most profitable. And let's talk about the role of the entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs organize and manage land, capital, and labor in order to seek rewards that are called profits. Entrepreneurs are the people who start up businesses like restaurants and car repair shops, internet stores. These are people who may have to work for others and have decided to quit and start up their own business. Entrepreneurs want to be their own boss, and many will fail, unfortunately. Very few will succeed to become very wealthy. They say that more businesses fail in the first 5 years than any other time. So needless to say, there is always that risk. Entrepreneurs are the spark and the catalyst of the free enterprise economy. And the rewards, the entrepreneur can have the profits if they gain any. Workers, typically, they're better off because they can have more or better paying jobs. Consumers, we get newer and better products, which we love. The government, there's higher income activity or economic activity, and hence you can collect more taxes if that's necessary. Successful entrepreneurs will attract other entrepreneurs into their market. The role of the consumer. The economy in the U.S. adapts to the consumer's wants, and consumers typically decide which products are going to be produced, and the consumers vote with their money. So when we talk about consumer sovereignty, this is the role as consumer as the ruler of the market when we determine the types of goods and services that are going to be produced. Consumers want change constantly, and as they are exposed to new products and ideas, and certainly we want those things. The role of our government. The government, for the most part, is the protector, the provider, the regulator, and the consumer of certain products. So as a protector, Government enforces laws against fraud. They go after unsafe products. They kind of establish property laws. As a provider, the government provides goods and services for citizens, such as defense, subsidies to agriculture, road construction, education, public welfare, sanitation. I do want to point out when we talk about the protector side of government, and maybe when we're coming up with the regulator side coming up here next, we probably should talk about something known as the Federal Reserve. Currently, Jerome Powell is the current chairman of the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve kind of acts as a regulator, maybe a little protector of our economy, because they have control over what the interest rates are for the borrowing of money. Janet Yellen is the former chairman of the Fed. She stepped down at the beginning of 2018, and Jerome Powell has been in the role as chairman of the Fed, and he'll probably be there for the next possibly 5 years. Usually a term for the Fed is around 6 years, maybe a little bit longer. So needless to say, we're probably going to hear a little more about him. The government is charged with preserving competition in the marketplace. They oversee communication, interstate commerce, banking, as we mentioned here with the Federal Reserve, nuclear power. States, for the most part, they oversee things like insurance rates, and at the local level, zoning for where we're going to put in buildings or houses, building activity permits and such. Consumers, government, like a business, is a consumer of scarce resources. Matter of fact, the government is the second largest consuming unit in our economy. So a modified free enterprise or a mixed economy is an economy where the people carry out their economic activities freely, but they're subject to some government intervention and regulation. Thank you very much.